Hello, YouTube. Okay, let's get live on everywhere. I'm going to talk to the Instagram camera. Hello, TikTok and Instagram, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube. How are we going? We are going to be talking about not wasting another year, getting ready for your 2025 now. And I have a couple of things that I really want to share. I've been having conversations with my clients about this. As always, when I do lives, I get a lot of the inspiration for my lives from my client conversations and people in my DMs, and something that I have recognized being in business for the past 5 years, but also really being into personal development for like 10 plus years, is at this point in the year, September, October, people start to freak out. People start to freak out and believe that they don't have enough time to achieve or finish what they started at the beginning of this year, and it sets them in a bad frame of mind coming into the brand new year. And there are a couple of patterns that I want you to recognize in yourself if this is happening. Is just right now have a reflection. What are the intentions, goals, promises, whatever you resonate with that you set for yourself, either December last year or January this year, or maybe February, maybe you start a little bit louder. And where are you at with this? And now it's not always as easy as ticking off a list of I did this, I completed this. But are you actually progressively making progress in the grand scheme of things in your life? In the world of JP, what we really focus on is actually long-term vision. I probably, just like you, love dopamine hits and instant gratification. But dopamine hits and instant gratification don't necessarily get you the results that you desire long term. It's really easy to focus on the short-term wins and doing things in the now, rather than looking at, okay, how is this affecting my next 12 months? How is this affecting my next 2, 5, 6, 10, 20, 30 years? And actually zooming out, I like to say bird's eye view your situation, take out the emotion and see it for what it is. How are you looking at that? And I think that a lot of people actually wait for motivation. And something that I like to compare it to is having motivation and having discipline are two different things that you need to learn. Being motivated, if you are waiting for motivation, which is normally something outside of you, something that's external, and waiting for that to push you into starting what you want to do or push you into actually making moves, you are always going to fall short. And this is exactly where I used to be in my personal life at the start of my business. Is I would look for things to motivate me, whether it was money, relationships, a certain instant gratification reward, rewards that were only short term. And I wouldn't actually look at the bigger picture, which requires you to have discipline. Discipline and focus are the key to progression. And I'm going to be speaking about a few different elements today, but something I spoke about to my client last night is it doesn't mean that you need to work harder. If you're looking and you're reflecting on this past year, maybe the past couple of years, and what you're starting to see are patterns where you start things, you stop things, you always seem to fall short of the goals that you set for yourself, or you always find that you're like in the momentum, and then after a couple of weeks or a couple of months, you lose the momentum, you fall off, and you repeat that exact same cycle. And so you're always feeling like you're playing catch up, And if that is you, you are more than likely trying to use external motivation to move the needle, to get you to a place where you truly desire, versus using discipline, having focus, and being able to hone in on, number one, what you actually value, and number two, are your goals actually something that are in alignment with those values and are actually driving you towards your bigger picture? Now, I'm about to send out private invites, but if you're watching this live and you're interested, for the Visionary, which is a container that I have, and the edition of this one is 2025 planning. There are no links. I might put it in YouTube, but the Visionary 2025 planning edition is all about doing quarter four, so next quarter, to quarter four planning, getting really strategic, getting into the mindset of how we are smashing out the next 12 months, plus the next quarter. And what we look at in the visionary is actually having a very, very attainable, tangible, specific plan of attack. There is no point saying, I'm going to save $15,000, or I'm going to launch this in my business, or I'm going to want to do XYZ in my personal life, and kind of just putting it out there, right? We need to have a beautiful blend of strategy and energetics. It's always going to complement each other to actually help with your discipline and focus. But we focus on in the visionary is where are your discipline levels at? Where are your discipline levels at? Where are your focus levels at? Because most people tell me that they're working on what they want to work on, but their focus actually isn't there. Their discipline actually isn't there. And I just made a TikTok about this in a thread earlier. And this came from a post that I saw, and the post was around, okay, I don't understand people who say they want to change and then they're, spending money on nails or binge drinking or going out every weekend or buying new active wear. And my perspective is I really used to think like that, like black and white thinking, that don't complain about where you're at in life unless you're going to do something to a degree. But what I shared and my thoughts on it is from the perspective I come from, I value investing in myself because I've done it many, many times. I've spent thousands and thousands of dollars over the past few years investing in my business, investing in my personal mental health, and understanding who I am, getting support, getting accountability. And what I see when people say, I want to change, or I want to do this, or I want to achieve this year, and then they kind of fall short or they betray themselves, it says a couple of things. And I want you to just kind of do a self-reflection if this is you. So the first thing, what it is saying, if someone is saying they want to change, but every week they are spending money, binge drinking on activewear, they're saying they have no money, they're complaining about it, or they're making excuses. This can be a subconscious signal that they actually truly believe at the root that that's all they are worthy of, that that's all they are actually capable of. Even though consciously they may be saying out loud, I really desire to change, or I want more money in my business, or I want more clients, or I want to get that promotion in my career, or I want to attract a relationship. At the root of it, if your subconscious mind is telling you, no, where you are right now is all you deserve, is all you're worthy of, everything that you are doing in your life is going to validate that. It's going to confirm that. It's part of confirmation bias, right? Your brain is quite literally from the RAS, reticular activating system, is actually seeking out the information that you are subconsciously wired into your programming. So, and this is something to recognize in yourself. If you find that you've been making excuses, or you've fallen off the bandwagon, or you're like, I find every few months like I'm in the same cycle, or a really good one is like right now where you are, look back where you were at last year at the exact same time. Have things changed a little bit? Not at all. Have they changed progressively massive? You made these quantum leaps. If that's you, then just park for a moment. But if you're like, hasn't really changed a whole lot, or like I felt like it's been a grind, an absolute grind to get results, then that's the first thing I would look at. And that's actually part of my Woman Mastery methodology, which is all around subconscious reprogramming. So if at the root, you truly believe that you only deserve what you currently are experiencing in your reality, that is what you are going to look to validate and confirm in your existence. The other side to that is also not putting yourself in a position to actually practice discipline and focus. And that's what it requires to change that programming. You can't just say a few affirmations. You can't just do some EFT tapping. You can't just wake up and do a visualization meditation every day and hope to change. You actually have the discipline and focus to step into and embody the different habits. It's like if you've gone from doing no gym and you want to lose some weight, well, you can't just affirm that you have a healthy body and you're losing weight. You can't just go to the gym once a week and do a 30-minute workout where you barely move your body. You actually have to completely change your current habits. You have to get up, you have to meal prep your breakfast and your lunch. You need to go to the gym and smash out that 45-minute session. You need to invest in the personal trainer. So again, it's really looking at where are we limiting ourselves? And going back to what I said, if you look at where you were this time last year, be really honest with yourself in the self-reflection of what really hasn't changed. Where do I feel like I have worked and I've stayed busy and I'm trying my hardest, but it actually hasn't changed? Those are the areas that you like discipline, that you like focus, but you also don't have the programming instilled. It's not something that's instilled in you. And inside of the visionary, it's a 4-week mentorship. So you get 2 intensive calls with me. So if you aren't someone who wants their blind spots shown to them, you're not a high achiever, you want to stay the exact same, it's not for you. But if you're someone that's like, you know what, next year, I'm ready to actually do things differently. I'm ready to step into this new version of myself. I'm sick of feeling busy all the time and I'm not that productive. I'm sick of feeling super overwhelmed on what to do, how to move. And I'm also sick of my own shit, right? This is for you if you're like, I know that I'm worthy of so much more and I'm doing pretty good in life, but like I'm sick of my own shit right now. Like I want to do better and I want to change more. I highly recommend coming into the visionary. So just send me a DM because it's not in my bio at the moment. But what that's a part of the focus is understanding why you keep repeating the same patterns, why you keep staying in the same programming. When I explained subconscious reprogramming, you have to look at it like a computer program, right? And the analogy I use, looking at my MacBook here. So if I had this MacBook and let's say this MacBook was only programmed for a graphic designer. So all of the apps in the MacBook, everything was programmed for a graphic designer to use. If I took this MacBook and I gave it to a mechanical engineer, and I was like, here you go, you can have this MacBook, do your work. How hard is it going to be for that mechanical engineer? I'm just going to block some people on TikTok. How hard is it going to be for that mechanical engineer to actually work on that MacBook if it's programmed for a graphic designer? Very, very hard. And that's exactly what is happening now is you are living by a certain type of programming and you're trying to override that. We will never get the results we desire in life if we try to override our current programming. We actually need to completely eliminate it and replace it with brand new programming. So for that mechanical engineer to be able to use that MacBook, it needs to delete all of the graphic designer programming and install its own mechanical engineer programming. Does that make sense? And where a lot of high achievers go wrong on their journey and then they end up in a position where it's like, well, I'm doing the inner work, I'm doing all the right things, like why is it actually working? It's because you're trying to override the programming. You're trying to override the programming instead of eliminating and installing a brand new one. And this is, as I said, phase 1 of the woman mastery methodology, subconscious programming. I'll be teaching you this and guiding you through this inside of the visionary, because it's all well and good to come up with a very strategic plan and steps of, okay, over the next 12 months, what are we looking at? But to actually believe and have the programming that is going to back you up in that, that's a whole other level. And so again, if you are like, okay, I need this for 2025, send me a message, the visionary, we can get you into that. I also, if you want something just to start, I'm releasing the Reset audio program. It's a 7-part audio program. And basically in 7 audios that are about 30 to 45 minutes long, I am going to teach you how to make your next big move and start to eliminate things like self-sabotaging behavior, fear of failure, fear of judgment, and get more confident in yourself. And that's really something that I've designed so you can listen to it whenever you need a reset within a week. So if you wake up in like March, like say you do it now, and then in March you wake up and you're like, oh, something's a bit like laggy. That's exactly what I would put on that 7-day reset, because it really allows you to relook at your life and just take a step back and do things differently. So I've also got that. That's in my story. But overall, and I wish I bought my drink bottle. Overall, what I want to say is, getting ready for the next year starts now. It really started in July, if I'm honest. But if we are getting to the nitty gritty, it starts now. The end of the year is always very, very busy for me, for everyone that I know. But it's the time that you need to be working on yourself, or else life's just going to go by and keep going by where you're not actually achieving the things you want to do, and you're just sacrificing the life you actually want, and you're sacrificing the things that you desire or who you want to be, and you're getting caught up in what everyone else is doing. You're getting caught up in the masses because you think that's what the right thing is that you need to be doing. And so start to look at, what is my current programming? Where am I at in comparison to this day, whenever you were watching this live, this day last year? Where am I at? What has progressed and I'm really, really happy with and I feel inspired by, tick, cool, park that to the side. But where have I felt like I'm trying, or I'm actually recognizing I didn't try that hard, but I do value this thing. And I want to know how I can find the focus and the discipline to work on this thing in the new year. And be, when it comes to self-reflection, you need to be able to discern between your ego and what's actually happening, the ego and the truth. And when you develop your self trust, which is the basis, the foundation of everything I do, is you are able to lead yourself. When you lead yourself, you can back yourself. But if you can't back yourself, if you can't lead yourself, if you don't trust yourself, what do you have? You will always be betraying your own needs. You will always be going in circles. You will always be getting to the end of the year and thinking, oh my God, like another year, I didn't tick that off, or I tick that off, and like I'm stressed about that and I'm overwhelmed, and like same cycle, same cycle, same cycle. So this is just a reminder, a little bit of a like tough love pep talk. This is a reminder to you that you absolutely have the power. If you're watching this and you have continued to watch this, you actually have the power inside of you to be able to take the leaps and to make the moves and to make a change in your life. So I am going to leave it there. It's getting really hot here because I forgot to turn on the aircon and I don't have my water bottle. But I think I'm going to talk a little bit about this on a reel later on. So thank you for everyone that joins me. The best way to find about the visionary or the reset is to send me a message in YouTube. I will edit the bio and put it in the bio. But I appreciate every single one of you guys, and I'll speak to you soon. Bye.